Super excited about today's video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Smith & Wesson Model 59. This one is the nickel-plated version. We're going to do some shooting with it, talk a little bit about it, look at all the controls, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun. This particular one, I happened upon, somebody traded it in to Heavy Metal Guns and Outdoors, put it in my hands, and I said, I have got to do some filming and some shooting with this. So, gun's clear. If you're not familiar with the Smith & Wesson Model 59, they quit making these in the 80s, early 80s I believe. They made them in the, I believe, the 70s through the mid 80s. Somebody correct me on that. And they were pretty popular for service organizations. So a lot of police officers, I think they actually issued the 59 to the Navy for a while. But they are a 14+1 high capacity 9mm. So nowadays every company makes double stacks. You can even get a 45 that has 14+1 if you want to. But back in the day, the 70s and the 80s, this thing was way ahead of its time. Nobody else, at least not a very popular model, had that much capacity in 9mm. So this was a very, very popular pistol. This is the first one that I have ever seen in my life, but I believe more of them were black than nickel plated. I could be wrong on that as well, but just for me studying and reading things. But let's do a little bit of shooting. I'm gonna load this thing up and then we'll take a little bit closer look at it. I'm gonna be shooting some of this MagTech 9mm. What is this stuff? 115 grain. This ammo I actually got from my buddy Brandon at Peak Firearms, so thank you, Brandon, for sending us this ammo. There's 15. I just dumped out 15 here on the table, so if it's 14+1, we ought to be able to shoot all 15 of these. I haven't tried it yet. I actually have been out of 9mm and I haven't shot any 9mm in a while. But very happy that I happened upon this Model 59. Super excited to do some shooting with it here today. From what I can tell, it has a great trigger. Let's see here, does it actually hold 14? Yep, so there's 14 in the magazine. I'm gonna load one more. Load it all the way to the max. It also has the, along with the slide release up here, has a decocker. So very, very nice firearm. If you can find one of these at a decent price, I recommend you pick it up. I've only put a couple rounds through it and I already love it. But got 50 steel and talk about it a little bit more. All right, so I've stepped off about 10 yards. I'm gonna aim for the top left circle there. Should be a whole lot of fun shooting this Model 59. Let's see if we can hit what we're aiming at here. First shot should have a heavier, longer trigger pull, and the rest of them should have a pretty light touch on them. Let's see how it runs here. Woo! That follow-up trigger pull is real light. I love it so far. This thing's awesome. I'm shooting a tad bit high there. There was the first magazine through. Let's go take a look at the paper and see how we did it real quick. So, you can see there, we didn't even hit a single bullseye, but a little bit all over the place. Lowest there, highest actually hit the paper, but overall, pretty decent group for, I'd say, as fast as I was firing and not paying too much attention. First thoughts, I love the Model 59. Let's take a little bit closer look at it here. So first off, just looking at it sitting there on the table, It is hard to beat that old school all metal Smith & Wesson look, especially in the nickel plated model. I mean, we're missing a screw there, but I got to get that replaced. But this is just a beautiful, beautiful semi-automatic old school pistol. Just to give it a really quick look over, all the controls are much like you would expect, very similar to a lot more modern firearms. Magazine release is right there at the thumb. It drops out very easily every time, even for being, what is this, a 40 some odd year old pistol now. Slide release works very well. Decocker is right there, which is also the safety. Also works very well. Beaver tail fits your hands very nicely, at least mine. There you can kind of get an idea of how fat the grip is. It is kind of a fat grip, but it is a 14+1 double stack in a gun that really is not that large. I'd say it's pretty much a medium frame gun. There's some that are much larger, but overall fits my hand very, very well. That beaver tail comes in just right. There's a little bit of a look at the sights for you. Nothing too fancy with the sights. You can see the front sight is integrated into the slide there, so nothing fancy. There are some adjustments you can do to the rear sight there. I have not tried to do that yet, but if we need to, we'll make some adjustments there. There you can see there it's stamped model 59. Very, very good looking gun. I would absolutely say if you come across one at a decent price, pick it up. If it shoots, I'd say go ahead and pick it up. They're great guns. That's definitely enough yapping, but hey, if you guys know more about the Model 59, absolutely, I appreciate you guys teaching me things. Put them in the comments down below. Have you ever owned one? Have you ever seen one? Have you ever shot one? Do you know more details about them? I'd be happy to let you guys teach me more about the Model 59, but I've got a steel target set up downrange now. Let's see how we can do. I'm gonna start off at 10 yards. Maybe we'll back up a little bit. Maybe we won't, but let's have a little bit more fun shooting this 59. Let's shoot some steel this time. All right, we've stepped off to about 10 yards again. Let's see how we can do shooting some steel targets with this Smith & Wesson nickel-plated Model 59. Woo! Hit the first shot. So, I shot that one as quickly as I could, trying to get them back on target. I may have missed one in there, but you can see me, an amateur shooter, at least at 10 yards, is able to do very quick follow-up shots with this 59. It's a very good shooter. Recoil is obviously manageable. It's quite a hefty for a 9mm, being all steel, and that trigger is just so sweet. The trigger is so sweet. I would almost compare this to the trigger on my 1911 10mm. Just a very light, crisp trigger. Let's load it up and step back a couple more steps, shoot one more magazine through it at this steel target, have a little bit more fun with this while we have it out. All right, loaded up one more full magazine, so we should have 14 shots here. Let's take some more shots on this steel. See how we can do here. Ooh, I keep zooming in on this just because I love the sheen of that nickel plate there. Here we go. I tell you what, let's try some left-handed just to get a little interesting here. Left-handed, one hand only. Hey, I'm still hitting it. Maybe, I think I missed that time. There we go. Whew, and that's it. But thanks for watching the video, guys. I absolutely love the Smith & Wesson Model 59. Like I said, if you see one at a decent price, I absolutely recommend you pick one up. Shoot, even if it's a high price, it may be worth it. Very, very sweet shooter. I've got to say, absolutely one of the best shooting 9mm I have ever personally fired. I would much rather carry this or even shoot this at the range. I'd much rather be shooting this all metal gun over any of the newer plastic polymer stuff. Love shooting this. Also, there's also just that cool factor of shooting something that's somewhat historic and kind of an old firearm. But thanks for watching the video today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed seeing this Model 59. I know I had a whole lot of fun, as I always do in these videos. But thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, if you know more about the 59, happy to have you teach me more about it. But real fun day at the range shooting today. This is gonna get shot a whole lot. It may be my new favorite one to go plinking with. I don't know, possibly even carry. But I'm rambling on now because I'm so excited about this pistol. But absolutely had a whole lot of fun. Thanks for watching the video, guys. A big thanks to Heavy Metal Guns and Outdoors for all your support. Everybody go check out their channel. Also a big thanks to Brandon at Peak Firearms for hooking us up with that ammo that we used in this video today. Don't forget to subscribe to the WHOTEEWHO channel if you haven't already. Tons of more videos on the way. We upload a new video every single day. Really appreciate you guys watching the videos. Stay tuned for the next one. WHOTEEWHO!